Well, John, 30 episodes, man. How about it? Isn't it amazing? We've hit 30
Yeah.
episodes of
I
Two
got I
Noobs
got
Talking.
I got two for you. One's gonna make you laugh. So we'll go Eddie Belfour, number one,
Nice.
Eddie the Eagle,
Yeah.
Tommy Soderstrom.
There you
Right.
go.
You
Look
just
at
go with
that.
there you go.
Tommy Soderstrom with the old school, like the gated mask. Are you kidding me? That's awesome. Love it.
Could do the splits better than anybody.
Absolutely. Yeah. Too
He
bad
was
his 5
Dominic
was
Hasek
terrible.
without talent.
Exactly. Welcome once again, everyone, to another episode of Two Noobs Talking with my buddy John Tracy. I'm, of course, Matt Craig, and welcome to episode 30 of our wonderful podcast. It's amazing that this just from where we were back in October and here we are in May, it's episode 30. What the heck is going on? And oh my gosh, do we have a 30th episode for you today? Everything from COVID to a Fab Five. I'm not going to call it an update, John. I'm going to call it a bashing.
It totally is.
I think it's going to be a Fab Five bashing.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what the heck is going up north of the border, but I think we're not going to.
They
I'm
don't
going
like
to touch
religion
on
up
it,
there.
but it's
Yeah.
really weird what's going on up there. We'll touch on it. We got a Tim Tebow clip.
Yep.
He's not praying on the field, but he's doing something that I think is really kind of flying under the radar. It has this
Yep.
story has a tendency to fly under the radar with everybody getting distracted. We'll share more
Absolutely.
about that later.
I love this dude. So
Yeah.
he's
And then
been
of course we've got a really good happy segment. So John, let's just as we always do, let's dive right in, man.
yeah,
Let's go
let's
right to
do
it.
it. Ooh, screenshot number one is our New York Post article. We found this a couple days ago at May 1st.
Yeah. COVID
Your
lock.
thoughts, Matt? Like this headline just grabs you with the study, which you will go way more in depth into.
Yeah.
This grabbed us because this is just in New York City,
Yep.
and they're talking about a couple other states.
Oh yeah.
Um, just the countless jobs that were lost did not appear to save lives at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, very
So much for
interesting
flattening the
article.
curve.
Yeah, it didn't do any of that,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, norm for Cuomo. But yeah, it's more of the same with this. The lockdowns, cost more jobs than they did lives.
Yeah, I mean that was an amazing article. For the audio listeners, we just had up there with the New York Post. It was pretty brutal in regards to that.
But
Brutal.
it led us to more things. So that's what these screenshot. These screenshots are quick, but it led us to
Yeah, it led us to a very interesting find.
break some stuff down.
Yeah, exactly.
Real quick, the second article that led us through. We're just throwing them up real quick for audio listeners. Check out the articles; they'll all be in the show notes. But this
Yep.
is the article that led us to where Matt's going to take us. States with stricter lockdowns ruin livelihoods without saving lives. This
Yeah.
was the alternate article to the article we just presented.
And hold this
Uh,
up here, John, real quick, because I love this quote. You and I were discussing this in pre-production.
Absolutely.
Ryan Fazio writes this, quote, progressive politicians across the country assumed unique powers in the last year, took away personal freedoms, and destroyed livelihoods without saving lives. But they've still yet to admit their historic failures or to be held accountable to committing to them, end quote. Ryan, I have just one caveat to that quote. That's a great sentence. But there is something called November 2022, and I guarantee you
Yes, sir.
the rebound's coming. And if the Democrats think that it's not there, it's going to be it's going to be a humongously
Yes.
rude awakening. People are not happy about this. People are not happy over everything that's been happening with when it comes to lockdowns, losing jobs, whatever the case may be. This people have had it, and that's pretty much
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But both of
Especially if
those
you're living on
articles, yeah,
subway.
let's just talk about WildHub.com, John. I mean, this was an amazing study, and I'm just going to just share this. It's again the new staple of Two Noobs Talking, this PowerPoint presentation,
We love it.
and it basically what they've done is they've compared essentially. There's two sets of graphs that I'm going to just throw up here on screen. I'm going to have John and I just kind of react to this live.
Mhm.
as we do this. So the first screenshot that I saved was basically looking at the death rate versus a state's restrictions. So as you can see there on the horizontal axis, what they call the fewest restrictions ranking. So what does that mean? It's a weighted average. It's basically taking in a state's ability to shut down their own economies, throw on masks, socially distance, all that kind of stuff. And they rank them in a weighted average from 1 to 51 across all 50 states plus DC. And then you've got your COVID death ranking from 1 to 51, going from the bottom up to the top on the left-hand column.
Very important that it's between March 29th, 21 and yep, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say April 4th. Yeah, April 4th, 2021. Yep. So that's 7-day period. So this is right around Easter time that they were putting all this stuff together. And so for the audio listeners, basically there are 4 distinct patterns that we're seeing on the graph. Your states that are in the upper left-hand quadrant basically have low restrictions in place, but have a high death rate. They're in the top, let's just say top 10 in terms of the high death rate, or top 20, but people are able to freely move about.
Yes.
Your gray, so in your upper right-hand quadrant, that's basically Canada. You've got your high restriction, high death rate, no one's moving, but people are dying all over the place.
Yes.
Lower quadrant, you've got your high restrictions, but a low death rate. And then you have your green zone. That's in the lower left quadrant. That's low restrictions, low death rate. That's in the green zone. That's where everybody wants to be, obviously.
Yes. With the proper governorship, we would be all in there by now.
Oh, you mean, John, even if I highlight the Fab Five like I just showed right here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. I mean, the Fab Five, no surprise that they're high restrictions, but 4 of the 5 have a high death rate.
And the best part about it is that Cuomo is at the top of the list because we know he's a piece of crap. So is Newsom and so is Murphy. Like, they're terrible. Wolf always is. He's like the third dude at the party. Like he's the wingman that can't do a wingman thing. Like that's exactly what Wolf is. He's terrible.
I like to think he's the designated driver that gets everybody there, but then falls asleep during the party. And then you have to wake him up to get everybody to go home, and he falls asleep at the wheel. I mean, and that kind of thing. Then he wakes up, oh my God, what the hell? There's an accident?
And then you got Whitmer, who can't get out of controversy.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a great Breitbart article about her abusing the plane or whatever. Like she's more controversies.
She just keeps digging herself into this hole.
Controversy. She leads the league in controversy.
Yeah, I was just going to say, John, it kind of reminds me of that old Simpsons episode, when they go to find the treasure, and it's like Chief Wiggum, they go down all the way down to the bottom of the hole, and Wiggum's like, no, in order to get out, dig up, stupid. That's what Gretchen Whitmer is. Dig up, stupid.
Ridiculous.
It's like, really?
Terrible at governorship.
Yeah.
She's in more scandals.
There's more to this, though. As you go on to wallethub.com, and again, I'll throw up another one. Here you've got an unemployment ranking versus restrictions. So again,
same pattern.
Same pattern as before, only this time we're replacing the death rate with the unemployment ranking, 1 to 51, same time period. And again, we'll have this in our show notes with wallethub.com. It's a great link. Here it's a little bit different in terms of colors, but same basic principle applies. You've got basically 4 separate quadrants. Your upper left, so thinking on the screen here, the gray dot, you have low restrictions but high unemployment. So you've got people moving around, but there's no jobs anywhere. Your red dots, your upper right, that's really the death zone. No pun intended. But, I mean, you basically have high restrictions and high unemployment. That's not exactly where you want to be. Oh, wait a minute. That's Pennsylvania. More on that later. Your lower right quadrant, your blue dots here, you've got high restrictions but low unemployment. So you're staying home, but you're probably working from home. That'd be my guess. But the green dot, and a majority of them are low restrictions, low unemployment. Obviously a really, really good thing. But check this out, John. When you had like the Fab Five, guess what?
Yeah.
The 5, they're in the red zone. High unemployment, high restriction. The outlier seems to be dig up stupid in Michigan. Here we go again with Gretchen Whitmer.
Exactly.
Seems to be dodging a bullet.
See, she's right. She's right in where she needs to be. But honestly, if you look at the unemployment rate, and you can quote me on this,
Hmm.
unemployment rate in Michigan before coronavirus was low anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she just made restrictions
Hmm.
for funsies, basically.
Hmm. Essentially, I think if you look at the maybe not necessarily Wild Hub, but definitely in the New York Post article that we were referencing before, all of those states, all the Fab Five states,
Mhm.
pretty much like their unemployment rate's like 8%, which is horrendously horrible. But
Mm-hmm.
you have like, states like Texas and Florida and all that kind of stuff where it's like you've got a low unemployment rate. It's like utterly amazing to see.
I'm very interested in seeing the gray states and the green states to do a little bit more research on what exactly they were doing. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
To because even Texas is a little high, almost,
Yeah.
and they're talking about now because the restrictions were pretty heavy,
Hmm.
before,
Hmm.
similar to PA, similar to those.
I look at a West Virginia though. You look at that
Mhm.
kind of like right smack dab here in the middle, and again, for our audio listeners, it's in the upper left quadrant. They're kind of, to me, that says the coal mining industry's been hit hard.
Yeah,
Where are they going? They're not going anywhere. They have to work in the mines or whatever the
yeah.
case may be. That kind of thing. That is part of their industry, and all of a sudden, it's
It
like,
seems like restrictions did hurt some
yeah, yeah.
interesting places.
Yeah. Well, maybe not necessarily the restrictions, but maybe just something else was going on in there too.
It's
Who
true.
knows? It's just our speculation, our guess. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But
it's
also at this point, like we said in pre-production, at this point, 2021,
yeah,
we should all be in the green.
no question about it.
Whether you want to blame the president, you want to blame governors, whether you want to blame, Mary down the street,
Yep.
for this whole thing, this debacle, we should, by all intensive purposes,
Hmm.
be in the green with
Yeah.
this. They
Yeah.
handled the Spanish pandemic better.
Yeah. It was well. I'll have something to say a little bit about further than that, John. But let me just finish up this whole thing with the data conclusions, right? So
Mhm.
it's kind of you've got both different sets of data. What do you think about all of this? Well, really, four of all the Fab Five states, basically California with Newsom, New York with that douchebag and the
Douche
scumbag
noodle?
up there,
Yeah. Douche noodle?
Murphy asleep at the wheel, Wolf. I don't know, if he's at a nap. High
Speak up more on
unemployment.
him. He's terrible.
Yeah, high unemployment, high restrictions, high death rates. That's really, really solid. The only outlier of the Fab Five is Michigan, who is just, you got a power hungry dictator. Basically saying, oh my God, I'm afraid of you getting sick. Well, I mean,
But nobody's getting sick.
no one's getting sick. You've got low unemployment, low death rate. Well, yeah. Why have the restrictions? That's the point. Why have these restrictions in place if you've got a low death rate?
That's what they do best.
Yeah. Texas and Florida I found was also very interesting though. Here on both states you've got very high death rates, but also low unemployment and restrictions. So that to me, John, tells me that you've got young people down there moving around, no restrictions. They have jobs, they're doing stuff, they're
Mhm.
hanging out. But the people that are older, let's just say 70 and older, they're coming down with COVID, unfortunately, and they're getting sick from it and they're dying from it, unfortunately. And that's the sad part about this pandemic at the end of the day.
Yeah, but
But they're
absolutely.
not killing the economies either.
No, exactly. They're not killing the economies, and that's kind of our point about that. But
Yeah.
also, both states as of now
Hmm.
have really low cases and death rates.
There you go.
Because of the crap that people are trying to spew with the herd immunity. Like, I think these two states, because of the lower restrictions, are getting herd immunity faster. It looks
Absolutely.
more positive,
Hmm.
not in the long run. It absolutely does not look positive with
Hmm.
Texas and Florida, but in the long run, I think we're going to see low death rate, low cases the next time around.
No doubt. No doubt. I have no doubt about that too. Um, but then I wanted to kind of throw this up there because, we had this Neanderthal states from the used car salesman
Yeah,
just about a few weeks ago.
idiot.
All of them, including Missouri, South Dakota, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Tennessee, kind of your breadbasket, middle of the road states, all of them have low death rates. All of them have low unemployment. And most importantly, all of them have low restrictions.
Yeah.
So who's the Neanderthal now, as far as I'm concerned?
Yeah.
I mean,
No, seriously.
so really the conclusion that I came up with after looking at all this, John, was basically the lockdowns obviously don't work at all. You
Mhm.
protect your elderly as best you possibly can, and you keep your businesses open for the young and, the mobile that are able to go out there and
Yeah.
work at the end of the day. I
And it
mean,
probably would have worked out better. But
it
that's hindsight
probably would have worked
2020.
out better, yeah. Just saying.
Could have, but
Yeah. I mean,
thank God we've learned what we've learned though.
can I
Because
knock on wood
yes,
somewhere,
you can.
right?
Absolutely. I'm dreading this next segment. So if I look
Well, I mean, we have to go here because this guy just continues to be a
yeah,
moron and
that's
really should be impeached. I don't know what the Democrats are doing up there, but they're looking into impeachment. Get him out of office, to be perfectly honest. If you want any hope. It's a Breitbart article. Why don't you go ahead and throw it up there, John? I know you're going to be really upset, but just remember I'm here with you, bud.
Matt, please read it.
This really just
I can't
amazing.
believe that this is
Breitbart.
an actual quote.
Despite nursing home controversy, Cuomo warns unvaccinated could kill grandma and grandpa. Really?
Read on.
Really?
It's
New
awful.
York Governor Andrew Cuomo, Democrat, warned residents. Where's the salt? Can I throw that over my shoulder? Just take this with a grain of salt. Warned residents in the Empire State on Monday that if they are unvaccinated against COVID, they run the risk of killing your grandmother.
Oh, he keep on going, Matt, because he even has he tells you how it's going to happen.
Yeah. Cuomo's remarks were made at a press conference where he urged youthful and doubtful New Yorkers to get the coronavirus vaccine. According to Cuomo, several youth in the state have an attitude. Wow, really? They have an attitude.
Yeah.
We could tell him that 6 months ago that he had an attitude problem.
Yeah.
Regarding the vaccine, and believe they'll be fine, saying there could be lingering consequences. Or
Okay.
maybe you could go home and kiss your grandmother and wind up killing grandma, added Cuomo, despite the fact that he's been battling multiple allegations of sexual harassment and nursing home scandal, which reportedly left hundreds of nursing home residents in the state dead from the coronavirus.
Yep.
Do you want me to continue to keep going? I mean, this is
read this whole thing.
okay. In March, it was reported that Cuomo's aides rewrote a report. Oh, really? Rewrote a report from state health officials to hide, now get this, 9,250. That's an impressive number, John. 9,250 coronavirus deaths in nursing homes and long-term care facilities. He has some nerve shaming others for possibly endangering their parents, Dean said. Over 15,000 elderly are no longer with us, due largely in part to his deadly policy to readmit infected patients into nursing homes. If anyone knows how to kill a grandma, it's Andrew Cuomo, end quote. Now that is a great quote right there. John, I give you the floor, sir.
That quote actually made me laugh. That's why I put it in there because this dude, I can't even get mad about it.
Yeah.
Like I can't even get mad about. I want to get mad about it. I want to get frustrated about it, but you can't even get mad about it. It's the same thing as the Gretchen Whitmer getting. Now she's involved in a scandal with, using a private plane.
Yeah.
The next up, fucking Wolf. It's same. He had the same policies. So did Murphy. So did Whitmer. That's why we call him the Fat Five. They Newsom. They all had the same policy to kill grandma. And now this dude, like
it's not a fall from grace. It's just a fall. It's just an absolute fall, John. There's nothing else to say about this guy.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Why would you even touch that? Like, you are amidst two scandals,
Yeah.
and that was your quote.
Yeah.
You're
That
not.
you could kiss your grandmother and grandfather goodbye because you think you might have COVID.
You're not fit to be a person at this point.
You
Like,
have
you're
no
dumb.
integrity.
You're dumb.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, it's like, and that's the thing,
He's
it's
dumb.
not just the fact that he had that policy, but then he directed his own staff to hide
Yeah.
all of this
Well,
under the bus.
we all know that. The dumb part is he's admitting to it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then turning around and then telling you something else for his other agenda.
Yeah.
He's like literally just balls are in the air and they're all falling and he has no idea how to catch them.
Yeah.
Like he's the worst governor.
Oh, he's good. Yeah, I would think.
At least Newsom is taking his whipping and gonna get replaced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
This dude he's oh my god, I don't even know why he's quotable at this point.
Yeah.
He should be taken out back and shot.
I would definitely prefer a tar.
I mean, I would have no
perfectly
issue
honest
with
with
that.
you.
I
Let's
mean,
go back to the 18th century and with
Yeah.
this guy.
Killed that many people.
But I mean, yeah, he's going to get his. There's no question about it. And I don't mean to be flippant, but he's going to get his at the end of the day.
When? That's my frustration. When?
Yeah.
Let's drag.
If you're a Democrat, I don't know what you're. If you're a New York Democrat up there, I don't know what are you support. If you're supporting this guy,
yeah, it's
Like-
getting a little It's getting a little ridiculous.
yeah,
Like I'm not saying like no incite of violence, but someone should throw a pie in his face like they did idiot Microsoft guy, whatever the hell his
Bill
name
Gates,
is.
yeah,
I
Bill
don't care
Gates.
about that dude. I hope he falls.
I
off
would love to see that. Because I remember Bush 43. Someone threw a shoe at him at a press conference. Why don't we get thrown shoes at Andrew Cuomo?
Yeah, I'm not saying like don't incite violence. Don't
I'm joking, of course. But
don't burn things down.
No.
but please, like heckle him
yeah,
in the best New York way you can.
yeah.
Heckle this man.
Like if you're a New York
this man
member
in
of the
the
New
game.
York press, heckle him.
Yes.
He deserves to be heckled at this point. And not to mention, his brother also needs, I can't do that on CNN, but I would love for him to be heckled in every place he went if he ever did a live event, if he ever comes out from underneath his rock.
I want Chris Cuomo to trip over a cable and fall and have to put a Band-Aid on his nose. I don't like him at all. He sucks. He's a terrible human being.
Yeah.
Chris Cuomo is a terrible human being. I will keep saying that. Andrew Cuomo is a terrible human being, but Chris Cuomo is worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
and the fact that, they were...
they're terrible families.
What a scam. What a scam. Both of them. Both of them.
It's the biggest scam ever.
Yeah.
I wish that I could be on TV and step over everybody that I ever had to get the fame and fortune that I had. No, I wouldn't, because I would never fucking do that. That's what they did. That's exactly what they bought and paid for their positions, and they're terrible at them, and they should be physically removed by authorities.
Yeah.
And it's not happening.
And probably put into a mental institution.
Yeah.
Because when you do something like this is just, you're not right in the head.
No,
you're not thinking straight. You're not, you're a loony bin. You're a loony bin.
Terrible people.
It makes me think like Mario Cuomo was the father of both of those two guys. And Mario was known as Mario the Pious by Rush Limbaugh years ago. Mario the Pious. But it was like, Mario Cuomo wasn't altogether all that well. So the apple doesn't really fall from the tree.
No.
On the Cuomo side of the family.
It's actually not. It's not that like knowing the political family. It's not really. It's like Joe and Hunter.
Yeah.
Joe's an idiot. So, but Hunter's definitely an idiot.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I don't know where
Political power is an amazing thing. I mean, just to talk on that, let's move into this this Governor Wolf thing, because he is no different.
No, he's not.
He's no different.
This is from a few months ago, 6 weeks ago. Senate Republicans blast Wolf handling of COVID in nursing homes. A group of Senate, this is written by John Finnerty, the Meadville Tribune out in Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
Middle of the state, a group of Senate Republicans said the Wolf administration needs to provide a clearer explanation of state actions. Side note, John, this has been the recurring theme with the Wolf administration ever since the first 90-day edict that has been
Absolutely.
happening.
Absolutely.
They need to provide a clear explanation of state actions. Well, yeah, that has been exactly what has been missing from Pennsylvania for a
Yeah.
long time.
Still.
Among the most controversial moves was a March 18th, 2020 order regarding requiring nursing homes to admit patients with COVID.
And not to get it convicted. Let's just keep it up. Just to read this again. It was an order.
Yeah, it
An
was an
order
order
in 2020
handed down by
requiring
the
nursing
governor
homes to admit patients
with
with
COVID.
which, by the way, Whitmer did,
Mhm.
Newsom did, and Murphy did.
Yeah.
That's why they're the Fab Five. They all did the same thing. Are the
Mhm.
deaths a little different? Absolutely. Matt, please read that last part.
Yeah, for sure. Nursing home residents account for 50% or about 50% of
That's
COVID related deaths in
50%.
PA. 12,000 of 24,000 as of Tuesday. And again, this is dated back on March 2021.
Mm-hmm.
But in the initial months of the pandemic, now get this, nursing home residents accounted for about 70% of the deaths. 70, John.
Yes.
70.
Yes. Yes. For a lockdown state that couldn't do
For a
anything.
locked down
Yep.
state. Now,
Yep.
I will say this. The Pennsylvania primary comes up on
Mm-hmm.
next Tuesday, I believe. It's not this coming, but the following Tuesday. If you're living in the state of Pennsylvania, which this podcast reaches a lot,
Yes. Yes.
go out there and vote your primary.
Yep.
Why? There is going to be a ballot initiative
Mm-hmm.
where the essentially the governor has a 90-day state of declaration,
Yes.
basically a declaration of emergency authorization
Yes.
for a 90-day period.
Yep.
Essentially what Wolf did is he re-upped it 3 consecutive times after he issued the first 90 days.
Which is a
Now,
year.
right, which turned out to be a year,
Yes.
which we would now find ourselves in, basically,
Yes.
in the state of Pennsylvania.
Yes.
You have the opportunity, when you vote yes, to change that from 90 days down to 21 days. That will go into the state's constitution. So
Yes.
essentially going
And
from
it should.
90, as it should.
And
So
it
as it's
should.
certainly going from 90 to 21, it gives the power back to the legislature to demand to the governor, show me, if you want an additional 21 days for the state emergency, let us know. We will then review it and
Mm-hmm.
we will get back to you. Essentially taking the power away from the governor and putting it back into the hands of the state legislature, which then ultimately report to you, the
The
voter.
people. Yes, absolutely. So just to recap on that for a good clip so we can run this up into the election.
Oh, yeah.
90 days is what they have now.
Mhm.
21 days is what the vote needs to go for.
Yep.
And that's going to change the power from the governor to the people. And
Yep.
it's very, very important.
This is
Very
massive,
important.
massive, massively important because this will ultimately send a message to
Mhm.
every politician that if you're pissed about being locked in and not having the ability to go and do other things
You can
and
use your constitution.
use your power of your vote to go in there and vote yes to that proposition. Go for it. Do it. It's very vital that you
I
vote.
think I think so. It's very important.
Yeah. No doubt
On a
about
side,
it.
on a side note, real quick, I don't know if everybody follows Texas news, but they just made voter registration and voting harder here, which is awesome,
Mm.
and it's passed through everything. There's a couple little things that they're gonna get through, but just
Florida
talk about
does.
legislation. They're making it harder to vote because the vote matters.
Yeah.
And I love seeing states to do that. Like I love seeing what Atlanta did.
Yeah.
I don't believe with the bullshit that the Atlanta people the
Yeah, or
backlash.
those outside of Atlanta.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not the people of Atlanta. I'm saying the backlash from the
Yeah.
country is like, oh, well, you're doing this because you're racist. No, they're
Yep.
doing
No.
it to ensure every person's vote matters,
Mm-hmm.
and
I think there was.
that's the same thing with Pennsylvania with the vote. Everybody matters. You have a say.
Mm-hmm.
It's get out and vote
Yeah.
for all the things. The voting is important.
Yeah.
Not being locked in your house because an idiot is making a decision is important.
Yeah. Exactly.
Losing your job because some asshole that is
Mm-hmm.
out of touch with life.
Mm-hmm.
This is when we're talking all the Fab Five.
Yeah.
We're talking anybody. We're talking county commissioners. Any asshole
Yeah.
that's afraid, that doesn't actually read anything or
Mm-hmm.
know anything, has the
Mm-hmm.
right to tell you what to do.
And
That's
or is
voting.
more scared about data, more scared about a forecast than the actual what's on the ground.
That's where the voting comes up.
Yeah.
Because you can't let shitty people be in control of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially with this stuff. When the next pandemic comes around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's only a matter of time, not if, but when.
Yeah. Always. History always repeats itself.
Yeah.
I hope we're better prepared. We've learned from this. Because this
I hope
is a
so.
mild one.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Compared to others, oh my gosh. Yeah. In the terms of the history, we really don't have any idea what a true pandemic is. I'm convinced.
Other countries know far more than we do.
Yeah.
About plagues and
pandemics. I mean, for crying out loud, if India still has the plague and they've got coronavirus on top of that, so it's like
it's not going well.
No. And it's just amazing to me.
We pray for them because
no doubt
they need to get through this.
They really do.
Yeah, like quickly. But
I mean, they've got like 1 billion people, or more, John.
It's not good
in that country. It's not going to take long for that disease to ravage that country.
Yeah, it's not. It almost already is.
Yeah.
We can't get help there fast enough, and no other country because of these friggin' lockdowns. We can't help another country.
Yeah.
Which is a liberal concept,
mm-hmm.
which I think everybody should be on board with, of helping other countries when we're fine, which we are. If we would cut off the nonsense here, we'd be able to help other countries.
Compared to like 6 months ago, yeah, we're like miles ahead of where we were 6 months ago. Yeah.
That's Absolutely. What I'm saying. Like, you could help.
And we could definitely help. Yeah, to your point.
Help mitigate it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't help them from the Fab Five, though, because they're still behind the times.
Well, the great phrase, they're on the wrong side of history. They clearly are going to be on the wrong side of history.
Yeah, that's why we pick on them, because they are.
Yeah, exactly. And if, again, I keep thinking, of our audience, if you're thinking like, oh, this is just two guys going after Democrats all the time, I don't think so. No. We would do the exact same thing with Republicans. If Republicans lost their minds and were like running around like the chickens with their heads cut off, you darn right we would go after these guys.
No, absolutely. I'll go after anybody. I actually don't care.
Yeah,
I don't like criminals. I don't like corruption.
No, exactly.
If you follow us on TikTok or Clapper or Instagram Reels, my main hashtag is stop corruption. I'm trying to start that to be a thing because we need to stop corruption. This isn't about the virus.
No.
This is not about the virus. This is about the corruption that happened because of the virus.
Exactly. Yeah. And the policies that were put in place.
Because these people need not to be around.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with you. I mean, especially Cuomo. And if for all people to make that kind of a comment after what he did, I mean, it takes a special kinds of stupid to do what he did.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, especially Cuomo. The fact that that we now have we kind of knew it about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We kind of knew about Wolf. We heard it. Like, I know me and you talked about it before. We kind of heard that it was the same thing with Cuomo.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's coming out in papers.
Yeah.
All day long.
Well, let's move the channel Turn that page, John. And I'm going to just go ahead and play this. It's about a little under 4 minute clip of Tim Tebow. So this is a very important. We'll come back later after um, the discussion that he brings up. So here we go.
Thank you, Governor Kemp. I appreciate it so much. And I think it is fun to be able to have some jokes about football, but then we get together for something so much more important. And that's why I'm grateful to be here. That's why I'm grateful for all of you that are here and all of the work that you have done. I truly am so grateful because for me and my wife, this isn't an 8 to 5, a 9 to 5. This is a calling. It's a calling because we believe it's the greatest form of evil in the world today. Because there are 40 million people around the world that need us. They need us to say, no longer is it about the credit, it's about the mission. No longer is it about, well, we're not going to work from Florida to Georgia or from right to left. We're going to all rally together to be able to push back this darkness and push back this evil. And you probably hear from my tone that I'm pretty passionate about it because eventually we have to say not on our watch, not anymore. And so our goal in this is really three forms. It's proactive. We got to support the families before they get in a desperate situation where they do something that eventually they're going to regret. Number two is that we got to be part of the rescue. When kids are sold, girls, but sometimes boys as well, we got to be part of that rescue mission. You know, that's one of our non-negotiables is we're on a rescue mission. You see, when you say rescue mission, it puts a timeline on it. It's not a nonprofit. It's not an organization. Oh, it's a rescue mission because that puts a sense of urgency. And we have to live with a sense of urgency to be able to rescue as many lives as possible. That's why we're here today. It's not because we wanted to hang out, because we want to work with as many people as possible to say no longer on our watch is this going to take place. You know what, we might not be able to end it today, but I do believe we can make a really big dent. And then third, it's long-term relationships because like you talked about, it does take holistic healing. It takes holistic love, and it also takes sharing with someone that they might have been a slave physically, but they've also so many times become a slave inside. Because it's not just, slavery is not just on the outside, it's on the inside as well. And so it takes a long time to be able to love and holistically care for so many of these girls and so many of these survivors that have been trafficked. And so it's going to take all of us and more coming to this table to say that we have to be able to work together. Because I think one of the saddest things for me is so many times these survivors have forgotten their worth. Because they have been told and they have been shown over and over again that you're only worth and there's a price. You know, the reason why we got into this was because 8 years ago my dad was preaching in a remote country, and there were 4 girls that he was next to that were being sold. And he took out all the money out of his wallet, which was $1,250, and he bought those 4 girls. And then he called me and said, I just bought 4 girls. And not really sure what to do now. And I said, that's okay, Dad, we got your back. And so we built our first safe home, and then with the 4 girls and supported them, and then got 4 more and 4 more, 4 more. And you know, I'm so grateful for that day because it opened my eyes to what is happening around the world. And I think our goal should be to open more people's eyes because we need an army of people to say no longer is this going to happen. And that's really our goal, is to create an army of people that are committed to this fight. They're committed to this fight in a lot of different areas, but they're committed to this fight in their neighborhoods, in their schools, in their businesses. They don't have to necessarily just take a mission trip to be part of this fight. They can be part of this fight wherever they are, whatever their calling is, whatever they're doing. But this is something that every single person can make a difference in, and we can together push back this evil. But another one of our non-negotiables is that there's power when we come together. And we need more people to be able to come together on this, because when we do, we believe there's power, and we believe we can make a dent. So thank you guys so much for having us.
I love that dude. Always have.
The
always
passion
have.
that he has, my God.
I
Yeah.
love. He's passionate about everything. I bet he's passionate about making coffee in the morning. I love him to death.
Exactly.
He's a lot like me. He lives life to the fullest, and that was such a great story you told about his father.
Yeah.
That his father saw a need, filled a need. He saw something very terrible, and you know what? Took all the money out of his wallet, which not many people would do,
No.
just to give 4 people a safe place.
Yeah. And freedom. And freedom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And good on Tim to, I got your back. He made some money, you know what I mean? So
Oh,
he's
yeah.
able to help.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Not many people are in a position like Tim Tebow to do that, and not many people in the position of Tim Tebow would do that.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him so great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and praise God for that, John. I know that for sure. I know he's a devout man of faith as well.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
for him to fill that need is so key, because it's, girls that get caught up in that trade and, get stolen basically, and they have their lives taken away from them, and it's like they are just put into a position where all they're doing, it's unspeakable what they do.
And it's funny because the media likes to divide it into human trafficking, sex trafficking, child sex trafficking. They like to make it like it's 5 different things.
Yeah, but it's only one.
Just in just the research that my wife has done, and to educate me into this, is that human trafficking it's the number one, and I'm going to say it just out loud.
Go for it.
It's the number one.
Mm-hmm.
The number one in this world. And do you know when it happens? Super Bowl, WrestleMania, the World Series,
yeah,
the NBA Finals, the Olympics.
Yeah. Where everyone's getting distracted.
Everybody's distracted. That's when they predatorize the most.
Yeah.
Because they can do it without thought process.
Yeah.
Holidays with your family.
Yeah.
All major holidays are high on the list.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's like, I think when you told me that, it really surprised me. It didn't really surprise me with the Super Bowl. It didn't surprise me with like the big playoffs. What really was shocking to me was WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And it was like, WrestleMania, but now where is it being held? That's in a football stadium, and you've got 90,000 people, and the wrestling world is focused in on that event.
And let me not kill all the dreams, but why is everything on coastal places? Why is it in New York? Why is it in Florida? Why is it in California? Why is it in Texas? Why you've never had, the Super Bowl in Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah. Or Chicago, or Detroit, or...
And they always say, oh, well, weather. Yeah, well,
Detroit, they've had it before in Detroit. I should take that back.
But also close to the border of Canada. It's always to the border.
Yeah. Where that stuff goes around.
I'm not saying that the individual leagues are involved, but what I'm saying is there are powerful, money-hungry people that can help make those decisions.
Yeah.
And this could have been started, 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Or even 50 years ago.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
To move it the way it does.
Yeah.
There's articles in the show notes. There's a great CNN article that if you don't know anything about human trafficking, it kind of brings you up to speed.
Yeah.
Which we would like to please check out our show notes. We work hard on our show notes.
Absolutely.
We don't put, as much screenshots because we're trying not to just be inundated with screenshots, but
there's also a really good website too. ToDateForLove.com has a great and very sobering, talking about trafficking statistics, sex trafficking statistics on there. It'll humble you. It'll be like, whoa. You can understand the passion that Tim Tebow has. I mean, his ministry that's going out there and helping to save these women.
Yes.
Good on him and good on his wife, man. I mean, that is a special calling to rescue those people.
That's tough. Sometimes I wish that I had the kind of money that Tim Tebow had to make a difference, and then sometimes I wish that I didn't, because I don't know if I could handle it.
Can I give you a little bit of an encouragement on that, John? Even if it's just a small contribution, it goes a long way. Goes for a long way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, God tells us to be cheerful when we give. So think of it in that regard. Think of being cheerful in that regard, that that you're doing this for a good cause, that this is going to help out. And even though it may not be like a Tim Tebow type of thing, you're at least contributing to that cause. And that's really important. At
least he inspired me to share that.
Absolutely. So. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
He's top notch dealing with this.
Great human being.
There's also Ashton Kutcher's another one who started a company. If you don't know much about child sex trafficking. There's YouTube videos where Ashton Kutcher he gets a little, he's very passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he took a lot of his money, which he has a ton of it, and started a company that kind of played with the web and learned how to intersect the interweb with some pretty bright people. So there are people helping.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of us all getting on board and not accepting these statistics as reality. Keep your daughters close, keep your kids close, understand that not everybody is friendly, and this is kind of the
shine that bright light.
Close the borders.
Shine that bright light, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the big thing. Yeah.
And Donald Trump did do it, and I will totally give him credit for that, because he did shine light on the borders, because the media wouldn't be reporting these things if he didn't shine them light on those borders.
This is a huge issue that needs to be confronted and defeated ultimately. Yeah.
It's bigger than opioids, and opioids is pretty big.
Yeah, exactly. This is even
far
it's
even
worse
bigger.
than that. Yeah.
Trafficking drugs is like the third thing in the global realm of trafficking. Human trafficking is number one.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, why don't we transition? I know this wasn't quite probably the order we had it in, but I know we have something on the totalitarian state of Canada. Do I even dare go there? It's pretty bad. We have it in our show notes. We're going to throw it up right now. George orders Canadian church locked to prevent Sunday worship service, and this is in Ontario, Canada. Trinity Bible Chapel locked out because of coronavirus restrictions. Canada basically is pulling a Cuomo. They've lost their damn minds. They have lost their minds.
Here's also my question. Now that we just did that whole human trafficking thing, what has Canada got to hide?
Yeah,
because they won't let it up.
No,
they're refusing to let it up.
Yeah.
What do they do? Like they are against churches mainly. I mean, they're locking everybody down, but like,
but what are they hiding? Yeah.
Exactly. Like, what exactly is going on up there? That's important. Because I have no idea what's going on. I don't have any friends or family up there, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But it just seems like it's getting worse and worse and worse, especially from the articles that are coming out.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know what to make of all of that other than they've lost their damn minds.
Yeah, it's
it's crazy, bizarre. John.
Just read the bottom poll quote, because this makes no sense to me.
So yeah, Judge John Krasenko ruled on Friday that the church, its pastors, and elders were in contempt of prior court orders to halt in-person worship by gathering as the church last Sunday. Well, number one, I can tell you just basically from a biblical perspective, that judge has no authority over the church.
Yeah.
The church has the authority over the judge. Now, that may be a little bit controversial, but there's a greater judge than this one. And this Judge Krasenko, is off his rocker.
That's what I don't understand. It seems like Canada is, especially in Ontario.
Yeah.
They're just attacking.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's not only just the churches, but any house of worship, John. I really do believe that.
No, absolutely. It's definitely a worship thing.
No question.
That's a great point. No, it's definitely because they wouldn't allow you to worship a.
Yeah.
Like they would be like, why are you outside? Get inside.
They will not They will not allow you to gather. That's the whole thing. Like I don't know if it's every province in Canada. I would imagine it is. But they're not allowing their people to even gather together.
To move. And I've seen some things totalitarian over the course of every province there.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it for months. Mm-hmm. But these are coming out from Ontario. It's like they've lost their damn mind.
Yeah, they have lost their mind.
You're like 6 minutes away from Detroit and New York.
Yeah.
If they're lessening, how come Canada's not? I don't. Especially Ontario, you're not that far away.
Well, we ran the numbers for Alberta province all by itself with 4.4 million people, and they have a 99.9996% chance of just surviving the disease. It's bizarre. So what is it? What is going on up there? It's like, what are they so scared of?
all eyes on them because, wow, you know what I mean? Like, you're not that far away.
Yeah.
Ontario is like, I can understand.
No.
I can understand if you're,
Just across the lake.
yeah, if you're in Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
British Columbia. All right.
Yep.
You're further away from the United States.
Mhm.
The Edmonton, Alberta is a little bit further from the United States. It's in the middle. You know what I mean? Like Quebec and Montreal. Like
Montreal and yep.
Like we understand
Mm-hmm.
geography. Ontario's almost the United States.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't take long to get up there.
Toronto, you're literally 6 special forces units to being New York North.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You're that
exactly.
close.
You're that close. Yeah, exactly.
Joe Biden could get a hair up his ass. Toronto would be a new city.
Exactly.
I played Civilization for a really long time. When you're close,
there you go.
close.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you should be running the same rules as Maine, Vermont. I mean, I know
One
you're a
would
different
think.
country, but you should. Thy neighbor is right there.
Yeah,
Right.
and they're getting plenty of vaccines and all that kind of stuff, and yet their government is literally like they have basically taken their charters, because that's basically what their charters consider to be their quote unquote Bill of Rights. Ours down here, they basically just taken them and just like, oh, they looked at them and okay, I'll just toss this in the
No,
trash.
we don't need that. Yeah, it's bizarre to me. It makes
It's really bizarre,
It's-
and it's
it's
like, they
God,
report to the British Crown, and that's the thing. They're still a British colony, technically.
know.
Canada's still
I know.
like they're a country, but they
Yes.
report to the British Crown.
That's actually really that is so important. And maybe we can touch on that in further episodes too.
Yeah,
Because you're absolutely right.
and
we
you know
don't-
what they're doing in Britain with the coronavirus,
Yes,
John.
yes. Yeah, no, totally.
They're basically treating that as a seasonal flu. So, okay, if the UK is treating it like a seasonal flu, what the heck are you doing in Canada?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. We keep running into it, and it just get the word out. I guess we can to help.
Well, you wondered like what's going to happen there in that province, and especially on all the provinces in Canada. But
Hopefully, freedom.
yeah, like, and again, I think when all this is over,
Hopefully, freedom.
the idea would be we're going to look at this and making sure this never
We need
happens
to bring back
again.
freedom.
Yeah,
That's
we really do.
I mean, for every country,
Yeah,
freedom.
Yeah.
Like no longer oppressed.
yeah,
Like, we got to use these things to our advantage and freedom to make your own decisions,
Yeah.
whether I like them or not.
mm-hmm.
Freedom to make your own decisions. We need to stop being, as a country, judgmental, as a world being judgmental.
Yeah.
We need to get back to freedom.
For wisdom and freedom. Yeah,
So you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Thanks for adding that one.
there you go.
Let's
So why don't
do
we
some
end on a
fun.
good note? Why don't we end on this really cool note, which I thought, John, did you found this, right? I mean,
No, this is Maya 100%.
Oh, this is Maya. Oh, great.
this
Okay.
Is Maya. This is Maya. She does our happy segment most of the time.
I love that. Yeah. Kudos to your daughter. It's just awesome. So this is I'm going to throw this on live here. So this is from the Tempe Police Department. Offered a tweet. Officers answer our family prayers by gifting 4-year-old Gerald a new gator after his was stolen a couple weeks ago. So let's just go ahead and just see what's going to happen here.
About your gator tractor.
Thank you.
So we decided to go get you one. You want to see it?
Yeah.
Come on down, dude.
See, it's a John Deere tractor there.
Little power wheels.
Yeah.
Right on. Well,
Such a
I saw
cute
the
kid.
story on Facebook, and I decided that I'm a crybaby.
It's okay. We're all gonna cry over here too.
I decided that you deserve one. I decided that you probably shouldn't know about bad guys and people stealing stuff. So I wanted
That's
to show
awesome.
you what's good.
I'm totally a crybaby too, so this makes me
We went to Walmart.
happy. inside.
With all the stuff that's been going on with the cops.
Talked with our
Yes.
Tempe Officers Association, which is our union. We got some money from
You just got to put positive out there, and this is totally positive.
Yeah, it's like essentially like we're talking over what the cop's saying, but essentially the cop is basically told the kid, who's 4, hey, we pulled together all the money to buy this for you out of our union.
Metal license plate right here. It says your name on it.
Nice,
Super
you bought him a
cool,
license plate.
right?
Yeah.
And then I also
He's
got
smart.
you a cool sticker. A peace sign.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll let you sticker it up how you want. And I'll talk to your dad about the safety stuff of it. But go ahead and have fun, mister.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
We're happy to give this to you, my man.
This is actually, whoa. This is not even exactly like the other one, and it's not even a little bit. This is like exactly
Nice.
cooler than my other one.
Kids are awesome.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Kids
I
always
never
play
got a
Xbox.
Power Wheels when I was old, you know,
Me neither.
when I
Me
was
neither.
younger, but that was all
I'm
right.
jealous about that.
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
I'll-
I mean,
Maybe I'll buy one now.
for a 4-year-old, you know, can you imagine like what he went through? Just the devastation of having
Yeah,
something like that taken from him.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, he's down in the dumps. Oh my God, what are we going to do? You know, he's crying probably. And then all of a sudden, you know, the cops hear about the story and they just
He saw
respond.
it on Facebook. That's the best part. He saw it on Facebook and figured it out. Like
Yeah.
that's the whole fill a need, see a need, fill a need. That's totally
I love
what
that phrase.
I think we promote. It's from Robots. The
Oh, there
Dream
you go.
by the
Yeah.
way. With
Nice.
Ewan, was it Ewan McGregor? I think it was.
Yeah.
And Robin Williams, who's one of the greatest comedians of all time.
Oh, yeah. One of the
Yeah,
greats ever.
that's where I get that from. Is the Robots movie is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
You need fill a need. It's how you
Yeah.
know it's how to raise everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And we figured with all the stuff that was happening over the last couple of weeks, Maya,
Absolutely.
you did a great job. Thank you for helping out Two Noobs. Love it.
He's the best.
And for coming across with that story. And yeah, there are good cops out there, and those are good cops. Let me tell you, those are real good cops.
They're just good people.
Yeah, and they're good people too,
Yeah,
100%.
they're just good people that wear uniforms, and that's
Yeah,
decriminalizing cops is important.
yeah, exactly.
They're just people.
One other thing I should probably also let's just throw
Please.
this in here as a side note, John. I was able to, you know, getting some things at Wegmans the other day, and ran into a PA National Guard soldier, fully clothed, you know, the whole bit. And
Beautiful.
yeah, I said, hey, my dad served in the National Guard, PA National Guard, and just want to thank you for your service. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. You know, and he was thankful and the whole bit. So yeah, it was great.
Exactly.
Really
That-
cool to have that kind of a moment with that kind of a man that's
Stop
standing
them
up
all.
for the- and
Stop
defending
them
the
all and
country.
tell them how much we care about them.
Yeah,
Anybody in uniform, anybody not in uniform. If if your brother served, just take a minute and just show love.
Hua. Absolutely.
Just
Absolutely.
show love.
Yeah.
Because they ultimate sacrifice. It really is
Yeah.
the ultimate sacrifice.
It's great stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Stuff we'll never be able to comprehend, but it's also great. It's just
Absolutely.
great stuff. Yeah. So, John, man, 30 episodes in the can. There you
We
go.
did it. We did it.
As always, great pleasure to do this with you. Let's do that shameless plug promotion, shall we?
If we can remember it. So socials. I like to laugh. On socials, we are on Facebook, Instagram,
Mm.
Clapper, and TikTok. All our short videos to bring us back to
The main video channel, which is YouTube, which we will really would love it if you hit that subscribe button right down there. Go ahead and click on it.
helps. It helps.
Do it.
Like,
Like and share our videos
yeah.
as well. Get the word out.
It
And of
ha-
course,
it
on the audio side, John.
We are on Apple Podcast.
Mm.
We are on iHeartRadio. We are on Spotify for anybody that likes that, but it sucks. We are also on Google Podcast. You can search us at 215-512 Two Noobs. Sorry, Two Noobs Talking 215-512.
Dude, there you go.
Messed that one up.
There you go. That's all right. And then we also have the show notes, right? Show notes are, of course, right here. Bam! But then you can also find them two noobs talking.wordpress.com. See, I even screwed it up too. Two noobs
There you go.
talking.wordpress.com. And again,
Double.
if you enter in your email address and hit the enter button, those show notes show up in your inbox the very next day. Bam! So that's it, John. As always, man, great to do this with you. Two noobs talking. You got anything final to say, bud?
Yeah. Matt, don't go down the rabbit hole.
Thank you. I'll try not to. Talk to y'all next week. Take care.